Hi, how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. I wanted to talk to you about some important stuff. This is not the Bible study, this is some important things. As we know, the rapture is supposed to happen soon. We're kind of on the edge of a nuclear war. Times are uncertain. It's predicted that the economy is going to crash. Excuse me here. Anyway, this is all frightening news. And, we have been instructed to really stock up. And this is what you do before war. The Europeans know this. They've gone through wars before. We as Americans have never been through wars. We don't know. We just don't know what it's like. You store up a lot of stuff in your house and out in your barn and your sheds and whatever, of whatever you might need. And you store up a lot of, you know, non-perishable foods. And because it's uncertain times, you figure 2 to 4 years, okay? So you can need 2 to 4 years of canned goods and dry goods. Soap, toothpaste. When times get tough, people are going to panic and they're going to run to the grocery store and they're going to wipe them out. You want to do that before. Make sure to remember your dogs and cats. Lots of dog and cat food. Store them up. Get these big plastic tubs like you do at Walmart with snap down lids that you could put these things in. Because, you get mice. And you can also get 5-gallon buckets with these lids, and things will keep in there dried goods for up to 10 years. Make sure that these items are kept high and dry, and make sure that, that you have enough. And you have to remember, even though you might be a single person living alone, you have a family. You've got brothers and sisters and cousins and, all kinds of relatives and the neighbors and friends. And, I run a house church, so I have people. I have people. And I have to think about them, because when I tell them to stock up, they might not be stocking up much. They just say, oh, my pantry is just one little shelf. It's just so big. And they put things in there and that's it. And I said, no, you really stock up. You got room under your bed, under chairs, under furniture, in your closet. As, be creative. But really, really stock up. And if you don't have money to do this with, go to a food pantry and just get a lot of things that just won't spoil. You could put in a 5-gallon bucket with a lid. It'll keep food fresh in there. They said up to 10 years. It has a date on it, but that stuff's dried. That stuff's dried. It'll be fine. And then you can get these little packages that you put in there that will absorb the oxygen so that those items won't spoil. Make sure you have water, because and during times of war, the city pumps for the pumping the water to your house might be turned off. And you have to consider that. You have to think about those things. Make sure that you have bottled water. And you can get it in the little bottles of big cases, or, you could buy it by the gallon. Just buy gallons of water with the lid on. It works. And because you might be going through a period of time where you don't have water in the house. Make sure that you have a source of heat if the furnace doesn't kick on. I have an electric space heater, but the electricity might not be on. Make sure that you have you can get a little Coleman stove that will warm your house. Um, Make sure that you have enough blankets, candles, batteries, and if there's an EMT attack, it'll ruin it'll ruin a phone. Um, Wrap them up in aluminum foil. In emergency, toss them in your microwave. Don't turn on the microwave with that thing in there, but toss your little phone in the microwave. Boom, it goes in there. It's all encased in metal. It'll be fine. The military use phones and other equipment that are protected, that they're protected. We're going to have a lot of we're expecting more earthquakes. We've got an earthquake that's starting up, or it's expected up in the state of Washington. Where Washington meets with Canada, and it's got a river that comes down and it curls around. There's a fault line that's going to slip. It's slipping. It'll be like a 9.0. Imagine living through that. None of the houses will be left standing. Get out of there. Move. I wouldn't stay around that. And then there's another one of those right off the shore, and that's been predicted over and over again. Just get out of there. And if for the New Madrid fault, if you live in New Madrid or anywhere close to that, same thing. Get out of there. Move. It's common sense. And this is for your own good. I'm telling you this for your own good. Make sure when you store up stuff, you got enough for everybody in the family, including your cat or your puppy dog. I brought home these big bags of dog food in a little basket on wheels. And that was quite a feat. And put them in plastic containers. You don't have to open them up and empty them out. And you don't have to do that. Just take the paper bag, and they're in paper bags, right? Toss them in there and snap down the lid. It'll stay fresher in that paper bag. And then you can put other things on top of the paper bag, like more food items. And plan a victory garden out in your backyard. Best place for it. You could water it, watch it, nurture it. Grow some tomatoes. Potatoes are easy to grow. You put them in the ground, they just multiply like crazy. Swiss chard is probably the smartest thing to grow. You break off the outer leaves, you eat them. The inner leaves from the stalk from the center continues to grow. And you'll have fresh Swiss chard all summer long. Best thing to grow. Most practical. Onions are practically a perennial. They come up from year to year. Serious. You're going to need a garden. You're going to be able to have to plant. We are going to go through some drought later on this summer. Make sure that you have a hose. In my group, we're going to look for extra land, or it's be more, like what we do. We just put a cross on a piece of land with some benches, and we call it a chapel. And then if we could find, if the land's good, then we could plant veggies there. And some people will come and steal the veggies. They'll be hungry. I'm running into seniors right now that their food stamps have been cut so severely that they're hungry. They don't have enough in the house to eat. And so those people, I give them my phone number. It says, call me, I'll tell you about these food pantries that I know about. And I'll write down some of it. They never call. They never call. Strange. But anyway, these are things that I thought were important. And so I will see you. Bye bye.